Turning a no into a yes. Brought to you by the Surviving Corporate Clubhouse Club. Founders Luna Martin and Jonathan Lightfoot.
Turning a no into a yes for corporate life. Anticipate. Anticipate why someone might say no, and start with that. Often, you can probably guess the biggest reason someone will say no to your idea. For example, maybe you are seeking an additional resource, but you know your boss will be hesitant to cut the check. Or, something similar was tried in the past and didn't work, so you think your leadership team won't approve it this time around. Rather than try to avoid the biggest objection, lead with it. Make it the first thing you say, and why you still think it's a good idea. You have to anticipate the objections and lead with them. In doing so, you get rid of the elephant in the room. It also shows that you are familiar with history and you have a solution to past failures. Work for cooperation. Use the word and, not but. The key to turning a no into a yes is to avoid a confrontation or argument. Instead, you want to present yourself as being on the same side as the person you are looking to convince, and your word choice can influence that. This is a perfect example of that. Don't use the word but in your pitch. Use and. The word but creates conflict. The word and creates cooperation. Say what you can do. State what you can do, not what you can't do. Similar to the last point, you want to build camaraderie with the person you are trying to convince, not animosity. The word can't builds the latter. Saying something can't be done usually inspires the other person to think of all the ways it indeed can be done. Instead, state only what you can do. Again, this builds a more collaborative environment and generally makes the other person more receptive to your idea. For sales life, no is not final. No doesn't always mean no. Instead, often, it's just an easier answer than I'm not sure, or I don't know, or I'm not ready at this moment to give you an answer. So your first step is to be able to ascertain whether a no is really just a way to buy some time. Small business owners with whom you deal often resort to saying no because it saves time and is simply easier. I remember one time when I was speaking with the representative of a big franchisor about carrying my USA Today column on their website, and while they seemed interested, the gentleman eventually said no. But since I knew that they truly were interested, I pressed a bit when normally I would not have. Was there something they needed? Anything else I could offer? Within 5 minutes of me starting this casual, extra conversation, the gentleman decided that they really did want to carry the column. They were my clients for the next 5 years. It may be you. If you hear no a lot, too much, it is probably a hint that you are doing something wrong. The challenge then is to zero in on what that thing is. It could be any number of items. Your pitch may be off, or too long, or not detailed enough. Your product could be too expensive, or maybe too mediocre. Maybe your offer has no compelling call to action. The best way to figure this out is to share what you are doing with a trusted colleague. Don't try and figure it out in a vacuum, because that obviously has not worked given the feedback the market has given you. Or what about this? Ask the naysayer why he or she said no. Get some constructive criticism. The important thing is to get some feedback, learn from it, change things up, and get back out there. Deal with objections. Zig Ziglar once said this about sales: every sale has 5 basic obstacles. No need, no money, no hurry, no desire, no trust. That is a lot of no's, a lot of potential objections. But by understanding that no may really mean a prospect is actually worried about some or all of Ziglar's objections, you'll be armed with the ability to handle those doubts. If you forthrightly deal with their fears or objections, whatever they may be, then a no will not necessarily be, as Regis Philbin used to say, their final answer. Make it better. After making a pitch, ask, was my proposal a 10? If not, what would it take to make it a 10 for you? Don't take it too seriously. Having the right attitude about a no can really go a long way toward getting more yeses. After all, what is a no except a prelude to the next yes? As they say, smile and dial, smile and dial. As long as you keep throwing stuff against the wall, something is bound to stick. Conclusion. As you can see, we have gone over several ways of handling no responses. The important thing to remember is that you cannot become depressed when hearing no. Instead, do a bit of additional research into why they said no and craft a better presentation so they will be comfortable in giving you a yes.
Corporate life is the bind that ties most of the world together. Sometimes working to earn a living in corporations can be a range of experiences and emotions. Join our Surviving Corporate Life Club on Clubhouse for rooms on the various aspects of working in various organizations. We share stories of various aspects of corporate life and see how various situations can be handled. We cover topics such as corporate life in general, operating in corporate settings, funny stories of corporate life, not so funny stories of corporate life, corporate life survival techniques, and other topics that come up in corporate life. We would love it if you joined us for our next discussion using the link on the screen.
Thank you. Music, Unicorn Heads. Narration, Wade C. and Ava M. with Well Said Labs. Pexels Videographers, Anna Nekrashevich. Cottonbro, Fauxels. Gustavo Fring. Campus Production, Kindel Media. Mikhail Nilov. Monstera, Olia danilevich. RODNAE Productions. Thirdman, Tima Miroshnichenko, Yan Krukov. And of course, all of the surviving corporate members who inspire us to not only continue on our journeys, but to succeed every day.